All right, starting things up a bit again. Got my yummy tea. So what I'm going to do is change back to using the, I shouldn't say change back. I'm going to try to use my most recent backup of the engine, which is not the one at GitHub, and I'm going to try to start from there because that should be a lot closer to what we want. What I'm going to do is rename my projects directory again, so that will have the old one. Permission denied. Why is that? Oh, probably somebody else on another window is currently in it. Yeah. Let's just close all of them and start over. Hello. And okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to projects directory. So we still have that there. Now I'm going to go ahead and link again to the mount E drive. This is the projects folder that I created to share with the Windows. So now I can say, yeah, I've got my projects folder there, and I can change into it, and it currently has nothing. And what I'm going to do is, in my window space, I'm going to another window. That File Explorer. I'm going to go to the place on that drive where I put it, and I'm going to put a copy of my projects direct folder. Here. So basically, I'm the following already exists. How can that be? What? I don't know what's up with that, but we're going to say yes to all, and hopefully it doesn't explode. So, off screen, I'm basically just unzipping my most recent backup into the Windows directory, where I can then put it in our shared projects folder, which then should allow me to actually browse the code from inside of Notepad, and it should be shared in both places. Hopefully, since these aren't executables, I mean the code is executed through the interpreter, but can't create symbolic links. Yeah, but I think that's okay because, to be honest, yeah, so I'm just checking real quick. node modules folder that's in here is probably busted. Maybe I shouldn't have. Actually, I guess the good news is that that's actually captured. So in the future, if for some reason I want to try and grab a node modules thing that used to work, I should be able to grab it out of here. But we'll deal with this one thing at a time here. Make sure that none of these have. What's up with this guy? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to copy all these guys and put them in projects. So if that works. Then we should have my most recent version of everything up there. Somebody's messaging me, I think. What was that? Maybe not. Right around me. Who's these guys? I hope this is streaming. I'm not sure if it is. Oh yeah, good. Should be live. Not that it matters. I guess this is probably sort of boring at the moment. Okay, so now, yay! Look at that. We got all kinds of cool stuff. Now, I change into. Okay, actually, wait. I'm going to go back to third-party folder, and I'm going to remove the node link, and I'm going to link node back to the version 8 or whatever, which was the last one that my project actually worked on. So I should now be able to say, actually I'm ready to go back to projects, engine directory, npm install. Hopefully this just works. If not, I can install, I have an installation project which I can try to run pieces of. Because the other thing is, actually, chances are the node version that I'm using for the most recent update I have, it's not the most recent node, but it probably also doesn't match what's in the version that's in GitHub either. So this alone maybe fix the problem. We'll see. So far, everything seems to be going okay. Although, no, now is going to be the magic-y part of potential problems. Damn it. I'm going to close the blinds here. Okay, we still have problems, but it's possible. What's going on here? It's still this NodeJS bullshit. Excuse my French. All right, well, what I'm going to do is look at my installation project. off screen. Maybe I should move it, but problem is, even with this, it's been so long since I used it. Just going to copy a bunch of stuff. That's for creating an installer. Hopefully was ran at some point and has recent data in it, but yeah, all of this stuff needs to be probably rewritten or massively updated. That's for the Mongo files. What's in that? Okay, we have basic tools. DNS we're not worried about. Probably not. Either. Firewall related things. Not important at the moment. Should be. I think this was because on the cloud installation, so I had this running in the cloud at one point, and the cloud machines have two network adapters, one that's facing the internet and one that's facing a VPN, because all of the database servers, for example, only run on the VPN and they are not on the open internet. And I don't remember the details precisely, but the network stuff was for that. And I think we did all of this stuff earlier, the build essentials, graphviz, this should be okay. And we did the auth bind as well. Yes. What is this about? Oh, this is helper files for the installation script. Yeah, don't need those things. Now, there are some things for Mongo and SSH and other stuff like that that would be potentially useful, but I don't think any of that stuff is relevant at the moment. Although, yeah, let's see, we have our whole bunch of stuff about configure. Ah, yeah, that's right. Okay, I have all the stuff for configuring multiple network interfaces. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here that's specific to the cloud installation, including setting up DNS and a bunch of stuff like that. Although maybe that will go away with Docker when we pull that in. I guess the point is, I think at the moment, yeah, it's just, yeah, I think we don't need anything else out of the installer. So the question is, what the heck is going wrong here? For some reason, we have the exact same version of Node that I used to have. We have the same code that was running previously. These warnings and everything is new as well. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, I have an idea. Because I remember earlier we needed to delete that, what was it, pi something that was in the home directory. NodeGP. Node. So now, if we go, maybe this will work, npm install. Please, please, please. Damn it. Janet. The thing that annoys me the most about this is that it would be really nice if I knew precisely where this was coming from, because this buffer util is not one of the things I have so if I open up where is it, package here. This is my package folder, which has all of the, what do you call it, or the dependencies. You know what I could do? Actually, before I do that, I better check and see what is the status. Get status. Is the holy crap! It thinks everything's dirty. That's what I get for having a freaking direct or a full copy. That is not good. So usually when actually maybe I can like change revert files that aren't changed or something. So usually I would be checking this out somewhere, but I think what is happening probably, that's I think the problem is all of these files Git thinks are dirty because they have a more recent date than the version that's inside Git. So I think it thinks like the whole friggin' everything is dirty, and it's not. That really sucks. But what I guess I really care about at the moment, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to diff it on the Windows side, if I can. Maybe. Yeah, get bash here. So this is my Windows bash. Maybe this one will be a little bit smarter, but I doubt it. Get status. No, it also thinks like everything in the universe is dirty, because actually maybe that's not everything, but it's way more than probably should be dirty. So I think what happened is that because this is an unzipped version, it has like current timestamps on all this stuff. Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of it. And so not all of this stuff, I think, should be dirty. But the thing I care about at the moment is the package file. So if I say git diff head package JSON, oh, is my diff not set up properly? Yeah, crap. So I need to set up a git config. so that I can do proper diffs. Fortunately, somewhere in this folder, I used to have some stuff about setup for Windows. Yes. Okay, I'm not worried about the public-private key at the moment. However, okay, that's good news. So I should be able to, I forget where this goes. It's not in the root of, I think this goes in my user folder. It probably says in here. Yeah, these go in my user folder, and then there's stuff about the public and private key, but I don't care about that at the moment. So let's copy these. File Explorer. In some respects, this is a little bit annoying because all this setup stuff. Wait a minute, I want is my user folder. Anyway, usually there is. Oh, there's already a get config. What's going on in here? The actual development is fun, and this, replace that file. Okay. But the question, I also need the P4 diff, which actually is maybe not the very best one in the world, but yeah, it's what was set up before, so I'm just going to use that again. I need P4. Oh, wait a minute. eWindows apps, maybe I already have it installed. That would be super nice, although I'm not going to hold my breath for that. Where's my... no, this is old. But I can change. I can easily change this. That's no problem. Okay. Windows 64 version. Don't think that matters. I'm gonna skip registration because I'm a douche, apparently. Okay, so I'm gonna run the diff. And again, I apologize, this is all probably super boring compared to actually working on the engine, but you know, one thing at a time. Yes. So honestly, if my VM hadn't crashed, I'd have been good to go immediately, but that was a major annoyance, I have to say. Yeah, whatever the default thing is. Okay, but for paths, yes. Change this. I'm going to keep the perforce part, but otherwise we need to go to Windows stuff, new directory, perforce. The default value. Yeah, I don't have a perforce server, and I don't want one. I just need the editor, the diff. So hopefully that's running. Yeah, great. Okay, so the thing is, though, is I need to change Windows apps to Windows stuff, apparently, because I changed that between versions of whatever PC install that I had. Dang it. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I had multiple ones of these. That one is the diff helper. This one's going to be for the merge helper. And anything else in here? The get config should just point at those ones. Oh, excuse me. Where was I? Yeah, so it's just those three I think that matter. That should work. Okay, so now hopefully I should be able to do. Oh wait, I already had this open. I might need to open the terminal again though, maybe. So we're going to go back to our top level thing. We're going to get a git bash here. I'm going to say git status good git def head package JSON. And my diff is not working. Man! Oh, this is unbelievable. Literally absolutely nothing is working. Nothing at all whatsoever. Okay. This is unbelievable. Let's leave those for the moment. Where is my... I guess I'll just open a new file explorer because why the hell not? Perforce. This should have... Well, maybe the executable. Ah, yes, merge. Where's my... Oh, that's interesting. They're both merge. They're just different. Okay, so why doesn't that work? If I just run the window, can I do that? Yes, I can. This is the worst possible freaking way to do this in the world, and I need to figure out why that isn't actually working, but we'll come back to it. Except I need to do diff it against the head version. Who the heck knows where that is? It's inside of the... Dang it! Oh, for crying out loud. This is absurd. Well, so far I would say that this whole streaming theme today has been absolutely nothing but a train wreck. But at least I'm freaking starting it. It's better than... Okay, now that's interesting. Maybe this is incomplete. Merge git helper. Dude, I wonder, this is probably a waste of time, but let's, can I diff them in here? I probably will want to do that, but not right now. Okay, these are supposedly changes. Like a billion things that shouldn't all be changed. Actually, I don't see. That the package file is changed here, which is good freaking news. So, actually, maybe that's why it wasn't opening. Well, let's pick something that does think it's changed. like this guy. Git head. Oh, this is even worse. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Tell me that works. Yay! All right, something is going right. Perfect. So that's an OpenGL, WebGL test file. Sweet. Okay, so at least I can freaking diff things over there on the Windows side. Normally, actually, that's another thing. There's Meld, I think, is the one that I use in Linux, but since I don't have a desktop for my Linux VM, I need to do it in Windows, and I don't know that the Perforce merge thing is the very best one, but Perforce is used in games a lot, and so mainly because it can hold assets better than Git. I like Git better overall, but it does have problems when projects get past a certain size, which definitely happens when you put a ton of art assets into the project. So at any rate, fantastic. Okay, so we got one thing happening well, which is I can diff files, and my what do you call it? Package file is not officially changed. So what I'm going to do, we've already posted this to the, actually, you know what, that might be useful for me for something else though, so I'm going to leave it for now. I think what I'm going to do is remove all of the dependencies and start adding them back one at a time and see if we can figure out which one it is that's freaking puking on all that bullshit. It's pissing me off. So let's go back to our Linux thing. So we're going to remove these are the node modules. Change back to the root directory, and I'll make sure that we don't have that node dot jip, whatever the heck it is, that's according to that form a potential problem for these conflicts. So what we're going to do is add back one freaking dependency at a time until we can figure out who it is that's being a jerk. So Express is going back. I'm almost certain that that's not our culprit, but yay, Express is good to go. Oh, that's one thing I don't like, is that it reformats JSON into a less friendly way. Okay, so Express session. I guess the good bit is that it will fit. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, it failed to parse the JSON structure for some reason. I pasted it wrong. Ah, no comma. It's the last one in the line, and that's awesome. Okay, this is trial and error nonsense, but hey, if it gets us out of the woods eventually, that's what matters, right? So we need a comma on this one. We'll put in our body parser. Excellent. We're going to have this whittle down in no time. I want to reload it. Yeah, sure. Cookie parser is up next. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the authentication. Passports. This has to do with login stuff for the server, so we can have logins like people can have an account. You're not required. You can just make it so people can just turn up and to your server and play. But we also support secure logins, and Passport is related to that. All right, we're cruising right along now. We're going to have this worked out in no time. PEM, I forget what PEM is. probably related to bcrypt, since they were sort of grouped together. What do you want to bet? We're going to run into like whatever it is that pukes soon. Bcrypt is up next. Although maybe, so there was a encryption one that required C++, and then there was another one that didn't. I thought I had fixed that, but maybe I didn't. Hey, we're okay. Mongoose. This is to do with the connection to MongoDB, which is the database, which contains information about, well, everything to do with player logins, for example. Oh, I think this is maybe going to be our guilty party. No, hey, that seemed to work okay. Still? All right. Mongoose is not it. Anyway, also we'll have stuff to do with, what do you call it, assets, particularly when I have a separate project for a bunch of UI related stuff that is going to be for the editor, and that already has the ability to create really complex JSON structures for various assets and can commit it to a server or commit it to the database, so that basically we can have well, dynamic content, but also a potential for editing stuff. Node inspector is probably going to fail, maybe. It actually, this node inspector actually wasn't working last I was trying to use it. It is really amazing when it works, because basically it allows you to debug a node inside of, yep, all right, so I think that is our freaking guilty party right there, which is okay, because actually I can almost promise you that this is not even working. So let's remove him. I'm going to put him back there, and we'll come back to him later. I forget what this npm edge is. We're going to go through these packages at some point and remove everything that's not strictly needed, but that is not going to happen today. I mean, at one point they were needed, but I think probably some of these dependencies can be updated. Okay, so I mean, we're getting stuff that's deprecated, but we are going to need to come through and update a bunch of this stuff anyway, so that's not particularly relevant to us at the moment. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, WS. This is a super important library because it has, this is the node side version of WebSockets, which is used for all of our real-time multiplayer. You know, for getting off to a rough start, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Oh shit. Now that is not good. Well, it's probably going to be okay. Actually, that is weird. Why would that fail given that we have... I don't know. You know what? I think we're going to end up needing to update a bunch of the stuff today. In fact, maybe that's the first thing to do, even before worried about anything else that's going on, is make sure all of the dependencies can be made completely up to date. Handlebars, I love you handlebars, but you have an old version here for sure. I already know that we're going to need a newer one than that. Actually, you know, accidentally get anything from other versions. Handlebars is a template engine for generating, well, HTML content, basically. It's really useful for a whole bunch of stuff, particularly UI. I'm sort of surprised, actually, that I was using it in the engine already, but because I thought mostly it was in another project I have specifically for UI, but hey. Okay, and now we have our plant UML excellent. Go ahead. And now we have AJV. AJV is for JSON validation, which actually I'm surprised that's in the engine already too. But hey. Perfect. Okay, so we have two problematic libraries at the moment, and those are the node inspector and the WebSocket implementation. So I forget what the command is, but we can find out what is the most recent version. Actually, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to third-party folder, and I am actually going to hook up the most recent version of Node. This might cause me problems with Mongo not being up to date as well, but whatever, we're going to get this stuff working. I need to watch my language on the stream. Okay, ln -s node v12 node -all. So that should be, we're now up to the most recent version of Node. I'm going to change to here -all just to make sure, yeah, that Node thing is there again. I'm going to remove it. -r dot node, whatever the heck it is, and we're changing back to our projects, engine folder. So we now have the most recent version of Node here. So what I can do, actually, if I say cat, my bin folder, have a script in there. No, it should be, I should just have ls bin. What is it? It's not the link setup that I care about at the moment. Oh, it's the npm install. So I'm going to cat bin npm install shell npm list. Is it maybe? Not sure. Whoa. Okay, actually that is not very helpful. There's something I can use to get the most recent versions, but we're going to just Google the command, I guess. Okay, so we can close this. Probably don't need that anymore, but I'll leave it for now. npm find most recent version. Except that it's not npm that I want to update, it's a specific package. Check updates. This is probably what I'm looking for. Well, I'm not sure if I want to just run through installing them. What I want to do is specify the specific package. Maybe I can just say like Okay. Maybe it's view. npm view, and then I could say like express, I think. Yeah. Latest. So, for example, 4.12.13, 4.17.1. Hey, that hasn't updated too bad, or that's such a huge amount. 17.1. We're going to have all kinds of problems, I think, with the code, but we'll update those as we go. The important thing is that we get everything going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move this down a bit so I can see what we express. I wonder if this is automatic auto-completion. No, it does not. I think it would if this was a real Linux terminal instead of a cheaty one. So this is 1.17.0. I'll create that. And what do we have next? Can I scroll that up? No. Scroll this one down. Body parser. Body parser. So that's going to be 1.19.0. What's next? Cookie parser. Cookie parser. 1.4.1. Passport is awesome. Passport. 0.4.1. Only thing is, given the amount of API changes we may need to update for this, hopefully it's not a lot, but you never know. This may be breaking all kinds of code related stuff that we're going to have to fix, but we'll figure it out. Okay, now we need passport local. This is because we have a local policy for managing accounts inside of the API. Okay, that's perfect. It's already on version 1. PEM. I forget what PEM is, to be honest. We're going to find out. PEM. Create private keys and certificates with NodeJS and IOJS. That sounds important. I think that must be for, I think because when you have HTTPS, it's probably related to that, although it might be related to zipping up or encrypting passwords. I forget, it's one of those two things. But okay, that was for PEM. So that was on 1.7.2, it's now 14.4. 14.4. We have next bcrypt. Actually, dude, you know what? I want to, well, I think this already is, but let's look. I'm pretty sure that compatible to the bcrypt binding on Node.js, and we're zero dependencies. Yeah, okay. So I was afraid that it was, but this is good news actually, because there was a different version of bcrypt that required C++ code, and I thought this might be the library that was failing to compile, but I did fortunately upgrade it to one that does not depend on anything compiled. So that's good-ish news, I guess. bcrypt.js. So that's on 2.4.3. course, the problem with upgrading Mongoose especially is I may really have to get, well, that's interesting, 3.4.1. What version of Mongo are we using? What's the number? Yeah, this is not going. We're going to have to update Mongo as well, but that's okay. We'll take care of it every little piece at a time. Okay, so Mongoose 5, 8, 10. Well, that's a major upgrade. 5, 8, 10. And then we have connect Mongo. I forget what that's about. Oh, you know what? I think it's because there are different ways of connecting to Mongo, and maybe I'm using both, and I really shouldn't be. Or maybe I should. I can't remember. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. 3.2.0. That's massive. 3, 2. We're going to have all kinds of conflicts with this, I think. Have I been getting the latest on all of these? 5, 8, 10 was that guy. 2, 4, 3. 4, 14.4. 1.0. Which one is that? Passport. Passport's still on 0.4.1. That seems bizarre, but okay. Which one is this? Cookie parser 1.4.1. Good. The body parser should be 1.19. 1.17. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that I'm getting because this switched around latest and beta, which is slightly confusing, but okay. So that should have been connect Mongo. I'm not sure why I'm using both of those. We'll have to look into that if that's really necessary. npm edge, I forget. I think this is for looking at versions of something or something. Let's see. npm edge 0.22. Very tiny upgrade for that. I think that's something we might get rid of at some point. Handlebars. This should be at least 406, and I'm responsible for the submitting the issue that changed 405 to 406. Because I found a major bug. Well, it wasn't major, but it was major under very, very certain circumstances, and I was super happy that. Oh, hey, 4.7.2. They've made some changes since then, so I guess that's good. 7.2. Good for them. Handlebars is awesome. Okay, so next would be our plant UML, and I want to get rid of this for sure, but not today. Plant UML 090. I really hope it doesn't break literally everything in the universe. And this guy here is pretty awesome as well. This is for really fast JSON validation. AJV. Oh wow, they've updated that a lot. I hope that not everything is broken. 6, 11, what was the last one? 0. Okay, so we got all of those are up to date. Now, we still have two more to worry about, and that's the node inspector and WS, and we definitely need those. The node inspector I could live without, although it's really nice. However, the WS one we absolutely cannot live without, so we need to get the new version of that and hope that it doesn't cause massive problems. Was it 1.1.1.2? And we also need our WS. Seven, 2, 1. Oh, wow. Dude, there's a chance that like literally everything in the engine is going to be broken, given how much updates this has been. Pretty crazy. Okay, what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to diff the package JSON again, which is going to be different just because I want to keep the order of things the same. Which they are not. So for example, can I edit this side? I hope. No, it's okay. Well, we're going to move this over here, and we're going to look at this. So we have express sessions. Actually, let's go with the old. So we have express. So these guys are all grouped together, and they should be passport, PEM, and decrypt. Those go together. These guys go together. Node inspector was after that. npm edge was on its own. WSJS right there. A comma after that. And that actually makes sense. Handlebars, plant, and AVJ. Yes, okay, I know why. It's because all of this is to do with the documentation generation, which is going to get moved into my UI framework. But again, not today. So, let's see what happens if we npm install all this. Please, 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 everybody work out. Well, that's not looking good. Perm operation not permitted. Son of a bitch. What is all this? Probably due to somehow making permissions across the shared link. I'm going to guess. I don't know that for sure. Let's hope that's the case. Man. Okay, what I'm going to do, modules, remove those again. Okay, I'm going to go back up to our roots. We still have our old projects 2 folder. I'm going to make a projects 3 one just for testing. Projects 3, and I'm going to copy -r projects to projects 3, and whoops, this should copy the folder. Oh, whoops. Copy. Projects 3. Excellent. Okay, I changed to our projects 3. npm install. This should be local, so if there's any problems with writing across the directory, that shouldn't happen. Or writing across the link, I should say. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. What we can do is I need to remove that folder in the home directory again. What the come on. Oh, it's for crying out loud. Oh, it's not there. I wonder if the npm folder is a problem. Or cache or config, either, for that matter. Yeah, of course it is. You piece of crap. All right. Config .npm. I'm gonna remove all of that stuff, and hopefully that doesn't like destroy the universe. No. Crap. Alright, let's cancel that. Get the npm one. Alright, let's try this again. Please don't freaking blow up on me. I honestly did not expect setup stuff to take this long today. I figured it'd be like an hour at most, and then we'd be looking at code. This is really unbelievable. Well, the good news is, that one of the things it's still complaining about is Node Inspector, which makes me wonder if I get rid of that, will everything else be okay? Well, the thing is that shouldn't actually have problems. Tried to doubt. Well, it can't access the. I wonder what happens if can I download that in a browser? Oh, come on. I wish I had the proper Windows or Linux command line. Whoops. No, it doesn't exist. Well, there's the problem. All right, well, I guess we're going to remove Node Inspector for now. That totally sucks, but it is what it is. As long as the WS thing doesn't fail, we should be okay. Oh, it failed to do something else. What does it fail on? Ah, I know why. It's because we are in the copy, and this is the original one. It's actually in the projects folder instead. So let's go back. What the? All right. That's apparently gone. So npm install, please, 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 please. No, the what do you call it? Oh, for crying out loud! Now wait a minute. Actually, this was working fine. Yeah, see, that's got to be about doing something on the other drive. But the thing that annoys me about that is that I thought that it worked a minute ago. Let's remove this guy as well. I thought this worked okay. So I guess that means something about the no. Oh, for crying out loud. It really steams me off that I lost my Linux VM recently because everything was working just fine. I guess the good thing is, once I needed to update the versions of everything anyway. Still, this is freaking annoying as heck. So what I might need to do is soft link the node modules freaking back. Although I don't know if that will work either. I don't know. We'll see. That is freaking irritating. Okay. Vim package. Let's remove our node inspector on this one as well. Oops. Let's hope that this one works. Although, where's my, put that guy back, actually put both of them back for the moment. All right, okay. So, basically, for whatever reason, it doesn't like installing, I think that some of it just does not like installing across the soft link into my Windows area, which is actually really annoying because I need to do the work in, I don't want to do the work in Vim on the command line. So I have to figure out something to do about that. But the good news is now everything's installing except for the, what do you call it, node inspector, which technically we don't need right now. It's a debugger. although it would be worth finding out what is going on with that thing. Node inspector. Since version 3, NodeJS provides a built-in DevTools-based debugger which mostly deprecates the node inspector. See this blog post to get started. So that's actually good news in a way, because it means one less thing that we even need. So apparently this basically is now built into Node, and we'll have to figure out how to use that. I'm going to keep this tab around because getting the debugger working again at some point is going to be important. But for now, we don't need it. I need to use the men's room really quick, so I'm going to go AFK just briefly, and I will be right back. All right, so this is mostly good news. Well, we've got all of our packages installed and updated. The only problem is that they don't share well with my Windows partition version. But what I might be able to do is actually make another maybe I can make the node module on this drive, install it there. Oh man, that is really hacky. It would be nice to know why I don't have permission to write. Permission denied. Rename. Who knows? This could be something really deep inside the implementation of whatever the Ubuntu mounting thing is. It might not be very easy to work that out. So the question is, what's a good workaround? This is super ugly, but what I could do is, because I've already run the installation, well, I don't know if it will like me to copy that either. That's what I could. Okay, I have an idea. We're going to change back to the home directory, and I'm going to make another directory for holding node or node modules. Yeah, let's do that. And so what I'm going to do then is inside the node modules folder, I'm going to make another one that's specific to the engine, which maybe I will do this with other projects as well. So that way they can all have their own separate one. Paste. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to change to my projects. So this does not even exist there. So what I'm going to do is link to so what I've done here is basically oh, except that is, I wanted this to be named node modules. So hopefully there we go. So now my node modules is the folder technically already exists, and it exists on this drive. So hopefully that will get around the problem of it not liking me writing into other place. But I don't know if that's going to work or not. We're going to try it. So far, so good. Although it looks like some of my recently updated dependencies depend on other things which are deprecated. I hope that does not cause me massive problems. It looks like that still didn't work. Okay, well, what I can do, this is annoying. What I'm going to do is copy the package file over to, man, this is so haggy. Oh, really annoying. Yeah, let's. Oh. Actually, no, wait, that's going to be okay, I think. What we're going to do is then change to that place. So this should allow me to install all the dependencies in this other location. Oh, man. Alright. Oh, but now we're getting this error still. Why? It worked fine before. Why did that? I promise. We gotta go back to freaking home and caused me problems. You worked just 2 minutes ago. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe. Ah, the node inspector is back in. That's probably the problem. Yeah. But everything else should be fine. So, actually, man, this is such a freaking ugly hack. I really hate this. Why? I wish. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, because I don't need the node inspector thing at all anymore. It can go away completely. Copy. Say, yeah, okay, so I'm going to copy the projects package here. And now if we cat this package folder, everything looks good, and we should be able to run npm install, and everything should be good because the yes, okay, so that's a totally horrible hack. But what we can do now is from our projects folder, or this guy, we can remove our node modules folder, and instead we're going to link it back to our node modules, like so. That might puke if we try. Oh, actually, I wonder, maybe this is a dumb idea, but we're going to try it. Minus R node modules star. So that will remove the content of the node modules. But it should still be there. If I say please tell me everything is going to work now. It might still puke, but it might not because the... Yeah! Alright. So, actually, there's something good about that, which is now when I make backups of this, I don't have to delete the node modules folder because the node modules folder actually lives somewhere else. And what we can do is put all of the node module, we can put it basically everyone's or any other project's node modules in that same place. And so when if I pack it, well, except the problem is projects, I don't know, we'll deal with it later. But the thing is, that actually should be working now. Now the thing is, Mongo is not necessarily working or up to date. And that is potentially a problem. I don't like the, yeah, actually this is one thing that kind of sucks about it, respacing everything, because it does communicate to me things by having these things spaced out the way that they were. So, but whatever. Okay. Yes, so that's good. Now, but like I said, Mongo is not up to date. And the new version that we installed of, what do you call it, Mongoose or whatever, will require it. So let's go to our download center. The question is, oh, I don't want to, perfect. Okay, the current release, that's probably fine. Package, I don't want Windows, I want Ubuntu. Is that the newest? Oh, here we go. Newest version of Ubuntu. Server. I think that's the one that we want. This isn't AMD. I don't know if that matters. It's not ARM for sure. I don't have AMD. I hope that that does not cause me problems. There's a, what is it? I guess it just has that built in probably. Or hopefully it's okay. Is this a Z series? I forget what processor I have. Ubuntu. We're gonna deal with it. The only thing is that I thought there was when we did the view, no, not this one. npm view mongoose. I put 3 O's in there. Mongo 341. Now, is that supported? 3.4. Let's see, 3.4.1. Well, I guess this is kind. Oh no, that's. Does that change my? Well, we're getting more reasonable. Oh, except I don't want that. What is up with this crazy link? Whoa! I guess I'll just go with the current release, but we do need that also. It's so annoying that it thinks it's AMD. I hope that that doesn't cause me problems. Maybe I thought I have. We're just gonna rock with it. Where was the? Okay. Copy. I'm gonna put this guy in here as well. Username. So what I need to do is change over to my third-party directory, and I'm going to do a wget on the Mongo version. Where's my? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. That seems to be like an actual Debian package, and that is not what I wanted. Crap. Here we go. This is more like it. Ah, and this should be a friendlier link too. Okay. x86. The only thing is, okay, in terms of versions, this is probably going to tell me that, yeah, I don't want to actually install them. That's not what I want to do. I want to just basically have multiple versions of the thing in parallel. Like I was saying earlier. Let's try this one. Copy link address. Where's my... there it is. Oh. That's looking a little bit better. What link I have to say. And at one point, yeah, like I said, I had a thing actually set up so I could compute the precise URL based on like the version numbers. Don't need that guy. Although 4.0, actually what I want, I think what I don't want latest, probably wanting like what, stable or something. Oh, the current release is 4.2.2. They've re-released 4.0, I guess. 4.2.3. Where's the... I think that's probably going to be okay. Because... well, let's see, this came out, these are all today. 4.2.3. Here's 4.2.2, but although that doesn't say latest. Alright, whatever. I'm just going to roll with it. This is probably okay. Okay, I want to remove this Debian one. star.deb. Perfect. So we're going to untar this minus extract cdf Mongo Linux Ubuntu 18 blah 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 blah. All right. Well, that created an ugly version number. 4.0.15 something blah. I wonder if that is the best one to be pulling. Latest. Oh, dang it, I didn't want to do that. Which one did I pull? 4.0 latest. That's got to be this guy. What is up with this one? Copy link address. We're going to just check. Guess it just doesn't have that, I don't know, that is a weird, whatever, okay. I'm giving it a try. Probably somewhere where I can like actually read and it would just say, but whatever. whatever, I can't be asked right now. Okay. tar minus xcvf Mongo Linux 18 latest. That looks a little bit better, I think. So the one that we just, it still created all this crap on the end. That's annoying. Whatever. But still, that looks like a newer version. We say tree, MongoDB, Linux, Ubuntu 18. Latest. Oh wait, no. What did they come out to? 4, 3, whatever. Okay, well, it looks like we have the content there at any rate, so this maybe explode when we load everything up, but we're going to find out. Okay, so what we need to do is make our soft link again to MongoDB. Sweet deal. Okay, so we should have new version of Node and a new version of Mongo and the packages that we need for the project in the npm directory. The question now is everything going to work or not? Probably not. And before we even well, we could try and run the server. It's probably, if it doesn't crash on dependencies, it's probably going to crash on trying to connect to Mongo. And to run Mongo, I probably have to set up the config file, which I have an old config file, but it's not necessarily compatible with like the newest version, which is going to be another level of thing. But let's just try to run the thing and see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky. So we have of course. Oh, you know what we can do? So we have, okay, I don't need this anymore. Don't need that anymore. This will be useful. Don't need that either for the moment. Okay, so what we have is inside of the projects, we've got our logs. This guy, I guess it can't look, oh. Actually, that's really odd. Okay, well, we should be able to do it from here at least. Yes, okay, so we're running the newest version, but it thinks that it can't find main, which would be really weird. Probably. I probably need to set up the links again. still doesn't like that. All right. We should have. Whoa. You got to be kidding me. I am missing code. Oh. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Why is there not code? Why is the engine... This freaking... Man, losing my VM really pisses me off. And I was trying to make backups when it happened too. That is the worst part about it. It was like... I mean, although I had backups, or at least what should have been backups from before, which is what I'm trying to grab. Yeah. Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, man. This is really bad. My backups appear to be missing source code. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is really a huge fail. You've got to be kidding me. How can that... Oh, this is really bad. You've got to be kidding me. For some reason, my backups have code missing out of them. How, like, oh, this is really bad if that's the case. How far back does this go? Okay, question, is there any of them that have... Okay, that's good. Oh, that's old. But at least it's there. At least I have a version that has it, but not as recently perhaps as I would like. Okay, I don't know what the heck happened in that time frame, but for somehow, actually that can't be right, because how could that be? Because these backups were for more recently. I'm really confused how this could possibly be the case. My backups are apparently missing an entire directory of important code. One of the older ones has it, but I don't understand how the newer ones could be having this problem, because I'm positive I would have been running the code more soon, like the code that I was copying to make backups of had to have the code there when it was there, or it wouldn't be working, and I wasn't making backups of stuff that didn't work. So, like, how is it that this thing did not zip up all of my relevant code? Oh my God. All the things to discover on a freaking stream. Maybe I should have done all of the setup stuff just on my own. I don't know. The good news is I do have an even older backup. And I think that should still have all of the relevant changes. For the engine. Man. Actually, maybe this makes a little bit more sense. I wonder if the backup that I copied here this is sort of an awkward moment to have on stream. I think what I need to do, well, actually, yeah, okay. I think the actual engine, I need a different version, backup version to draw from. But these changes I made to the package versions we will want to keep. So I'm going to copy those over here. I hope that everything else about that backup, man, everything else about that backup better be correct. What I should do, come on, where's the thing I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm doing a little browsing structure on a personal part of my drive here, so I guess we'll figure this out later. So I have several projects in the projects folder, and the one I unzipped, I think, is the most recent version of all of my projects. But the engine specifically appears to have been damaged somehow in the zipping or something. I don't understand how the heck that happens. There's an older version of the zip, or tar I should say, which should be okay, but well, it doesn't have the latest version of other projects in there, but I think the engine the engine project hasn't changed in that time. So I'm probably going to need to try to grab that, but man, is that freaking disturbing. don't understand how this backup, which was made more recently, has freaking not zipped up the engine stuff properly when I know for a fact that the engine was running on the drive that this was zipped from after this backup was made, which makes me nervous about, I don't know, that is freaking really weird. I do not understand. Wait a minute. Yeah, that... Oh, whoa, now that's interesting. It looks like maybe the code is still there in a place it shouldn't be. Well, that is mostly good news. Although, actually, what's especially good news is that it looks like this code has not changed. Okay, so if that's correct, the missing code is still here. It's just, oh, I may have deleted it accidentally locally. Where are we at? Yes. Yeah, okay, so I wonder, can I open this from here? Okay, now that is freaking strange. Do not know what to make of it, but hey. Okay, it looks like what happened was the tar folder. Oh no, that's interesting. Does that mean, because I have a third-party folder here? Huh. Okay, so, okay, I think I understand what's happening. Something really strange here. So I have a few soft links that are created as part of the project, and it looks like, for whatever weird reason, when it was tarring it up, in some instances, the code that was not copied from its original location, but places that soft link it, it's there, which is freaking weird if you ask me. Although that's not the case here, but I'd already updated these links, which would have removed the old ones. Okay, what I'm going to do is back up the node or the modified package folder. Yes, I'm going to copy package to my home directory. And then what I'm going to do is copy, oops. This is weird, but okay, we're gonna try it. Okay, you know what? No, what I'm gonna do, this is not right. What I'm gonna do, cancel. Okay, we're gonna delete this guy. This is weird, man, I have to say. I think I know, no, that doesn't make any sense. We're going to see. I think maybe that is what broke it. Maybe. We're going to find out. Hopefully we can save everything. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't like a bunch of symbolic links of stuff. Yeah, I understand, actually, and that's kind of part of the problem, I think. Okay, so now, okay, that is not where... Okay, yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so what we have actually is all of the content is still there, fortunately, but the strange thing is that for whatever reason, the where there were soft links to different places, the actual place where it actually had the code didn't copy it, and the places where there were soft links to it, it did. Freaking go figure why the heck that is. And so basically it means the code is still there. It's just in a slightly odd place, which needs to be moved or fixed, I should say. So basically all of this should be in folder private there. Good. So okay, good. That has nothing in it, which it shouldn't. It has nothing in it, which it shouldn't. It has nothing in it, which it shouldn't. And this belongs in third party. There needs to be private, and there's not. Folder private. Third party private. Bam. I think everything's going to be fixed up now. Awesome. Okay, dude. Massive false alarm. Just something weird about the way that things operate, get tarred up. Apparently, that is, I would never have expected that. But okay, so what I'm gonna do actually here is remove. Maybe I should. Yeah. Okay, let's remove the node module folder. And now I can remove everything else. And what I'm going to do is copy everything that should be the fixed up. Oh, that's interesting. We should have everything, all the fixed up paths now here. Now what I need to do, perfect. Okay, now I need to grab my package back. Back to here. What? Cat package. So this one. Oh, is this the one I already? Huh? Well, these should, I think these are the new versions of everything I did earlier, so whatever it was complaining about, I think it actually did the. Okay, whatever. And then what I need to do is make my soft link back to the node modules folder. But before I do that, let's go back to the S node modules. npm install. Hopefully everything works. I think we're going to have be able to run the thing here pretty shortly. Of course, we're going to run into the problem of Mongo versions probably not working, and code crashes from APIs that don't match and whatever, but we can deal with that when we get there. We are almost out of the woods, I think. Okay, and now I also need to set up links. Set up links. Okay, so now run server. All right, so cat logs. What? How can that be? I just fixed it. Oh, I know, I missed a level of indirection. Used to be scripts in here first. Scripts. Into there and into there. That can't be right, I just fixed it. Did I not? Oh, I misspelled scripts. Rename scripts. Hey! The thing is running. And it hasn't crashed yet, although I would be surprised if it's running properly. So we're going to look at the log. What does this say? features of Node on all public and private networks. I'm going to allow Node to communicate because that's what I want it to do. Change directory projects. Logs. Dude, it looks like the server might actually be running. We might have our game up. Well, something crashed. And what is this? I need to turn off the documentation probably because that's probably not working properly. But the server should actually be running. So the thing is, I'm not sure which. Actually, it shouldn't. I think it should have printed out which board it was going to run on. Okay, this is lent, so that's good. The lenter is working. This is checking documentation stuff, which I'll need to turn off. And it's not smart enough to know which of the network addresses it's running on. I'll need to fix that at some point. But one thing at a time, huh? Okay, so one of these network addresses should be containing the game. Maybe it's not running properly. Who the heck knows? I'm going to close that and that for now. Hey, look at this. What do we got? Oh, whoops, that's the documentation, which didn't generate properly. Demo. Also not running quite correctly. But you know what? For one thing, actually, yeah, okay. Well, the thing is running, but we know that there's problems because the log itself gave us a bunch of crap. So we need to fix all of those potential issues. I could turn off the lenter. Actually, one thing that should be working as well, I forget what the path is. Let's check. We should be able to actually load the 3D thing because there's a hack in here, I think. Under public, maybe? No. Probably protected, HTML. Yes, I think this was going to work. So if I change this from game to WebGL test, no, busted. But that's okay. Probably, who knows what's, we can deal with that later also. The thing is, we are actually running. Yay! Sort of. A little bit of progress at a time. Okay, so what do we got? I guess. Dang it, it's always going to do that, I think. We're just going to live with it for the time being. Those should be the new versions, though, yes. Okay, so what we have, actually, we can stop the server as well. That will actually allow us to open up our log a bit more easily. So we got the log. Oh, except Windows is apparently too stupid to follow Linux soft links, which makes sense, actually, but that's kind of annoying. So that should be this log, probably. Local time 1724. Yes, this looks like the one that we just ran. Okay, so we got the lenter that was running. That should not actually cause us any problems per se. It's just that whenever I was last working on this, I had this side 3D demo thing working, and that is not set up properly, or it never had lint fixes on it. This is the documentation system running, and the docs are currently not going to function properly, and I don't know why, but we can work out the reason for that later. The easiest thing to do is going to just be to turn off the documentation generation for the time being, and we can come back and try to fix it later. So that should be in engine. Actually, I'm going to move over our directory structure over here so you guys can see it if anybody ever watches this. So we have in the engine protected folder, we'll have our scripts, and this is going to be organized much better in the future than it is right now, but this is most of the code for the engine. And somewhere we have settings file, supposedly. I forget the name of our settings folder file. I hope not. I think it was in a subfolder. It could be. No, it should be here. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, well, no, that is, I'm not sure if that's the best thing. Engine settings. This is it right here. So, this has a whole bunch of stuff. This file needs to be cleaned up too, but hey, one thing at a time, as I've been saying. Somewhere in here we can turn off documentation generation false. So that will solve one of our major problems. This was just printing the output of the log, I think, yes. On my other terminal, this one. So if I run the server again, hey, that's looking better. So server's running. Again, it's complaining about the linting, but we don't care about that right now. And then oh, wait a minute. Nope, this is still running. So I guess that's strange. There's a test case. Looks like we need to fix some code in here as well. So where is this going to be living? Deprecation warning. Global is deprecated. Use global. Yeah, who's doing that though? It doesn't look like it's my code. I hope that's not causing problems. The real issue I see is this property length of something. So let's look at our animation code and see what's possibly going wrong. There we have our animation 2D. Is this going to open? I don't want to do that. Can I change the default thing to open this with? Open with, choose another thing, more apps. Where's Notepad++? Doesn't seem to be in here. Look for another app on the PC. Where is Notepad installed? Not here. Probably in my Windows folder or Windows stuff folder. Alright, we're we're just going to do a search using everything. Everything is a great little tool for searching Windows. If you don't have it, I recommend it. So, Notepad++. Oh, it is in the x86 stuff. I was wrong. Local x86 Notepad++. Okay, where's my? I was like opening something in another directory. Oh, I should put this on screen so people can see what I'm doing. So, I want to open with, choose another application. I hope that's probably not in the middle of the screen, but whatever. And I'm going to always use a new thing, and I'm going to choose x86 Notepad++ open. Perfect. So now I should be able to double click on stuff in the future and just get the thing that I want. Okay, but we're looking at the error log. One thing that sucks actually is usually if I was using gedit, I would have that open as well, and it would just automatically show me whatever's going on. But whatever. Line 79, which would be here. So for some reason, we're trying to initialize an animation with no frames, which is bad. That's happening at game rules 365. So we're going to go to the game rules. Maybe. Game. It's game page. So this is not in the engine, it's in this test engine, because we'll talk more about the directory structure later. Right now I just want to get stuff working. What line did it say it was? 365. Somebody. $365. So we're initializing this with the frame array. Whoa. Well, that doesn't look good. If I'm not mistaken. So we have this frame array. No. We should be making multiple animations. This is where the debugger for Node would certainly come in handy, but let's not worry about that just yet. So, but this should be right, because so this is some kind of hacky code just to set up an animation. We're going to make 8 of these animations, and here are the names of them, and then we create this frame array. And we're going to run through 8, and then I should actually be pushing. Why would that? That looks like it should be right. Init is name, image name, frame rate, frames. I think the problem is this is probably out of date compared to the actual game I'm working on, which is different code. So the interface thing doesn't match. So this is, so we need the name, image name, frame rate, image name, frame rate, and then the actual frames. So basically we need a name first, which that's a little bit strange. No, this makes perfect sense. There's 2. Perfect. Okay. This guy should be. We have our name list, and this should be J, and it's probably going to be the same thing on the next one. Yes, I think so. Sorry, this is all this fix-up code. Because like I said, I have another game that I'm working on. I'm making changes to the engine. I had changes on the game and changes on the engine that were in the backup but not checked into Git. This is like a test game that's in the engine project. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, but we're gonna slowly freaking eventually get things where they ought to be. Just want to check and see what if there's anybody watching besides me. I don't think so. No, but that's fine. Cool. The stream is there and running. Let's go back to town, aka. Okay, so that should fix the animation problems, although maybe not when it saves the animation because the asset manager may have changed. We're going to make other changes to the asset manager too, I think, but that doesn't matter at the moment. Okay, so we got like multiple windows going on here. So the server's running, was running, we're going to run it again. And we're going to check our log. It's looking good. Hey, maybe, oh, yep. Got some problems eventually. Well, there's still this thing going on. Get ID is not a function. That can't be right. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. So the asset manager, so what's happening, I'm almost not 100%, is that, so we made this animation here, and we're initializing it with a name and an asset and frames and what have you, and then we're going to save that animation, and the old code was using the name to save the animation. The new code, the animation knows its own name, so the asset manager may have changed. We're going to have to look into that. It's going to be nice when all this stuff is sorted and we can just get back to working on new features and not just fixing broken stuff to make everything run. And we'll also talk about some high-level theory and stuff at that point. But probably no one will ever watch the moment that I'm in now. We'll see. What am I looking for? The asset manager. So we need to go back to the engine. Should be under protected scripts. Where's the asset manager under? I would have thought that was right at the top. It's not the registry. Animation. Compression, data structures. Game objects. Where's our asset manager? All right, you know what we're going to do? Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm going to just search for it in code. Fine. Oh, so this is something else I need to set up. I have a bunch of filters to do search better than this. Again, one thing at a time. Okay. I want JavaScript files. I want to grep -v node modules. That should give us all the relevant code. xargs, ack, asset, engine load. Ah, there we go. Scripts utilities asset manager. Scripts utilities asset manager. All right, so where was our log again? What's the file problem it's complaining about? Asset manager 85. Which is here. So it goes to register the animation, that is going to go into the registry, which is also something we're going to rewrite or change at some point, but again, cannot do everything at once. Registry. Actually, wait a minute. We have a get ID in the thing. Why is it complaining about that? Get ID is not a function. The heck it's not. It is right there. Save it. Because the asset manager no longer takes the name as a parameter, just like I was saying earlier. All right, I'm going to move that out of the way. Good so far. All right, so outside of whatever these errors are that I don't know what that's about, I bet you the thing's actually running now. No. We have errors on the console, unexpected identifier. Okay, well, let's turn off the, what do you call it, right? Because right now it's obfuscating the code. So we're going to turn that off as well, which will be in our engine settings, compress client code, false. So now we can come back to here. That might fix it automatically, but more likely it will just help us debug better and find out what's going on. Oh, I have to restart the server when I tell it not to obfuscate. Good news is that server should start up significantly faster. Hey! We've got a running game. That might even be a freaking happy place to stop for the day. So we got all kinds of stuff. We got physics. We got the map. I forget what the thing is for. It's I forget. I got a bunch. That's a test sound. So, dude, we've got the game up and running. Oh, freaking fantastic. That is good news. Now, there's a lot more stuff to do because, yeah, there's stuff to do. But we got the freaking engine up and running, and the test game, which is not really a game, it's just a little test environment that demonstrates that you could make a game. You got an animated character, and we can change the environment on the fly, which is what this is happening. And we got the environment itself, and we got like physics with the environment, like you can't walk into the water or into the wall. And there should be sound effect. I don't know if that's coming through. This is obviously all test art and everything. But hey, we are freaking running at last, at last, at last. So, wow, that is like cause for many celebration, even though we now have a whole bunch of things to work out, like, what's going on with all of these files that supposedly have changed, and maybe they have and maybe they haven't, and what have you. That's strange. The get node module should be on the get ignore in the get ignore file, but whatever, we're going to work out all of the stuff one little piece at a time. So that's fantastic, but dude, I'm going to take a short little break here because wow, yay. we finally got the game running, or the test game engine running. So, dude, that was way more hassle than I think it really ought to have been. But, dude, we got it up and running. And we have a newer version of Node. We've updated basically all of our packages. And actually, I'm surprised that there's no serious problems from like version conflicts where like the API is changed or something like that. It seems like it's just running. We do have some deprecation warnings here that we'll want to track down. But yeah, and we'll also want to work out what's up with these guys. Because actually, I wonder now if I change this, if I can make, well actually for one thing we should be able to see that multiplayer works straight away. Indeed it freaking does, look at that. Whoops. That was not what I intended to do. Maybe split this apart so you can see multiplayer working. So here I'm controlling one character and happening on both screens, so on and so forth. If I disconnect, I think he will disappear. Yep, fantastic. What I was trying to do is copy the, yes. Now I wonder if I can actually change to this web test. Okay, that is not the most recent thing. I'm not sure what to make of that. Maybe I didn't get the backup of the, oh, that would suck. But that may in fact be the case. Yep, I bet you that is the case. I probably lost code here, which is really just kind of shit. But okay. I had a bunch more coolness than this, but yeah, we'll deal with it. All right. Wow. Well, now I'm kind of wondering or thinking like, should I take a bit of a break from this or try and solve one of the many problems that are going on? One thing I'm curious about, just straight away, is oh man, actually, yeah, yeah, man, it really sucks about losing that VM. I wonder if there's actually a way to like mount the drive for the VM somehow and copy stuff off of it still, but I'm not really sure. That's something to potentially look into, because one thing that sucks here is the this WebGL test code. I had way more going on than this. I'm going to move this onto another. Yeah, there's definitely missing code here because I'd started doing some 3D stuff. There's a very tiny chance. No. Yeah, okay. Well, I still seem to have lost some code. Maybe there's a way to retrieve that from the VM, but I don't think I'm going to try to figure that out on the stream. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to take a break for a little bit now that the engine or the game is actually up and finally running, freaking finally, after like a million stupid things. And yeah, I'll figure out what to do next after that. That took longer than I thought, but whatever.